between each of the stones. As if they were cut by someone, and stacked right here. The largest of these stones exceed 10 meters in length, width, and height, and weigh approximately between 2,200 and 2,800 tons. Some of these are about 6 meters in length, width, and height. Grand Canyon. Located in Arizona, USA, it is one of the most spectacular canyons in the world. In recent years, it has attracted visitors from all over the world. At the same time, scientists have made many astonishing discoveries here. A prehistoric settlement from 10,000 years ago, to the mysterious caves of ancient Egypt, and the prehistoric civilization's megalithic quarries. In this episode, Mingxin will reveal 10 new discoveries in the Grand Canyon, and these discoveries might be your first time seeing them. If you're new here, please subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell, so you can be the first to watch more exciting content. Alright, let's begin our story now. Number 10. The Lost Billion Years. In the early 20th century, scientists were exploring the Grand Canyon in Arizona, USA. They discovered a puzzling phenomenon. In studying the rocks here, they found that certain areas of the rock history were missing at least 1 billion years. For example, if the rocks in front of us can be traced back to 2 billion years ago, then the rocks from the billion years before that are not present above. It's as if they were erased by some mysterious force. This mysterious absence has greatly intrigued scientists. They began to delve into these rock layers, in hopes of finding the reason for the missing history. Through careful geological analysis and discussion, they hypothesized that this phenomenon is likely caused by extreme geological activity in the early Earth. In the initial billion years after Earth's formation, there were numerous volcanic eruptions and active plate movements. This may have caused a large amount of stone to fracture, reshape, and even be reabsorbed into the Earth's deep mantle. As a result, that part of history is nearly untraceable. Number 9. Prehistoric Dwelling Site. A YouTuber named Desert Traveler made an unexpected discovery in the Grand Canyon. At the mid-level of a mountain, he saw a structure that looked like a window. Then this man came to this location. He discovered that there was a stone enclosure beneath the window. It was speculated that it might have been used to store something. Continuing upward, he reached the window's position. He first noticed the wood on the window's beam. It should serve the purpose of preventing rocks from falling from above. The interior may have been hollowed out by human activity. It appears particularly rudimentary. It should be used for living or storing some items. There are a total of 4 rooms similar to this. It seems that there were quite a few people living here in earlier times. Not long after, this man discovered another separate small hut at a different location, and it's at a higher position than before. Since there was no way to climb up, we had to raise the camera. We conducted a simple observation. They discovered protruding wooden roots from the roof. It's speculated that ancient people might have used these roots to climb into the small house. The house is extremely small, only big enough for one person to enter. And inside this small cabin, there should be something very important. The man speculates. It might be food-related items. In another nearby area, they also discovered a cave. The cave appears quite spacious. Stones were neatly placed together. It seems this might have been a gathering place for ancient families, or recreational areas. Settlements like these are found throughout the Grand Canyon. Archaeologists believe these settlements are at least 10,000 years old. They share a common feature. Most are located on high ground or near rivers, favorable for observation and resource gathering. The structure typically uses natural stones and soil. The top may be covered with wood and plants, forming a simple yet functional dwelling. Inside, these dwellings have fire pits, used for heating and cooking. There are simple tools around, used for hunting or food processing. 8th place. Not the Z of Z. To many people, scorpions are truly terrifying creatures. They have curved tails, with stingers at the end, capable of releasing neurotoxins that can pose a threat to animals, and even to humans. But, have you ever heard of a scorpion without a tail? This special creature is called a pseudocrab. They are a fascinating, small species. Their bodies are only a few millimeters long, and they don't have tails. However, they look somewhat like crabs, especially with those stout-looking pincers. They appear like miniature versions of crabs. But these little creatures are actually harmless. Pseudoscorpions are not venomous, and are even beneficial to humans. They feed on mites and small insects, helping to control pests. In the Grand Canyon of Colorado, USA, these fascinating creatures can be found. They hide in rock crevices or fallen leaves, waiting quietly to hunt or avoid predators' sight. The way this creature moves is particularly interesting. They grab onto the legs or bodies of larger insects, and move along with them to new locations. It's a bit of a free ride. In terms of adaptation, this parasitic fly has the most say. Ranked 7th, Ancient Art. In Horseshoe Canyon, Utah, USA, there are many mysterious drawings. These books are at least 4,000 years old. They depict the lives of people at the time. In addition, they also feature many mysterious creatures. AVTEC, Co. These creatures have gigantic physiques. They are tall and imposing. Co. With a small head. But big eyes, AVTCO. And they don't even have limbs. Some appearances even resemble robots. Many people believe these mysterious beings could possibly be the aliens mentioned in legends. In the painting, these tall beings stand among the crowd, occasionally brushing against humans. These mysterious beings seem to be communicating with humans in some way, or perhaps they are engaged in some sort of ritual activity. Moreover, these mysterious beings also seem to be hierarchical. Some of them appear to be very simple in their appearance, indicating that they might have a lower status. Some are portrayed very elegantly, seeming to have a noble identity. They might be nobles or the like. Some may even appear taller than other beings. They could be leaders or kings. Of course, this is just a guess. What the book specifically aims to express is, are these towering beings actually aliens? VTE, Co. Perhaps only the ancients knew for sure. By the way, these books are located incredibly far from the city. Some places don't even have roads. You can only reach them on foot, and this desolate setting adds a touch of mystery to these paintings. Ranked 6th, North American leopard fossil. In 1936 to 1937, scientists unexpectedly discovered a fossil in a cave called Rampart Cave in the Grand Canyon. The fossil was initially thought to belong to an American, but was later confirmed to be an American leopard fossil around 10,000 years old. The American leopard has distinct differences from the African leopard. In terms of characteristics, the body structure of the jaguar is closer to that of the cougar. Additionally, the fossils of the jaguar indicate that it had stronger forelimbs. In other words, this creature was more agile and potentially faster when pursuing prey. Scientists speculate based on the location of the fossil and the information on the skull. This jaguar likely suffered from the extreme weather at that time, trapped in a cave by a blizzard. Number 5. A billion ammonite fossils. In the late 20th century, geologist Steve Austin was conducting research in the Grand Canyon when he made an accidental discovery. He found a large number of ammonite fossils in the Redwall limestone layer of the Grand Canyon, and estimated there could be as many as a billion. This discovery later received significant attention from the scientific community. Dr. Austin stated that these nautilus fossils were buried simultaneously in a very short time. Moreover, the existence of these fossils indicates that there was a massive flood event in history. This event rapidly altered the landscape of the Grand Canyon, and quickly formed the red wall limestone layer. He linked these fossils to the global flood described in the Bible. This is direct evidence of the Great Flood. According to his hypothesis, such a large-scale burial could only be caused by a rapid movement of massive water currents. It aligns with the flood described in the Bible. Over a billion nautilus fossils were rapidly buried in a highly dynamic environment. They serve as the best evidence for the Great Flood. However, Dr. Austin's views have sparked significant controversy in the scientific community. Yet, they cannot be entirely dismissed. His reasoning, in studying the history of ammonite fossils, indeed offers a different perspective. Until the full truth is uncovered, it remains a plausible possibility. Fourth place. The Vishnu Temple on the mountaintop. Can you imagine that there is a statue of Vishnu built in the mountains of the Grand Canyon in the United States? This statue is located at an elevation of 2,300 meters at the peak of the Colorado Grand Canyon, but please note, it is not a real god. It just looks very similar. This massive rock formed about 1.7 to 1.8 billion years ago. It is composed of 3 different types of stone. They are sedimentary rock, metamorphic rock, and igneous rock, over millions of years. This massive rock has been shaped slowly by the erosion of water and wind. So why is it called the god Vishnu? What is its connection to Vishnu? This massive rock was named by the American geologist Clarence Dutton around 1860. Dutton was the first modern geologist to study the Grand Canyon. He conducted very in-depth research on the region's geological structure. When naming many landmarks in the Grand Canyon, Dutton chose names from myths around the world, especially from Greek and Hindu mythology. And that's why he chose the name Vishnu. This is because Vishnu, in Hinduism, is the guardian of cosmic order. He symbolizes strength and eternity. Naming the massive stone has a similar meaning. It reflects that significance as well. Number 3. The mysterious monolith of Utah. November 18, 2020. In a remote canyon in the U.S. state of Utah, state government employees were conducting a survey of wild bighorn sheep when they inadvertently discovered a mysterious 3-meter-tall metal column. The metal column is in the shape of a triangular prism, and is made of metal sheets riveted together. It looks very intriguing. This event quickly gained traction online. Various theories emerged 3 days ago. Some speculated that it could be some form of artistic expression. Some believed it was a kind of propaganda stunt or a simple prank. There were even people who thought it might be an alien teleportation gate or something like that. The incident stirred a lot of discussion at the time. But 9 days later, on November 27th, the metal pillar in Utah suddenly and mysteriously disappeared. At that time, someone filmed this mysterious person removing the metal posts. When asked why they were doing this, the reason they gave was that it attracted a large number of tourists and caused some damage to the environment. It undermined their original intention, so they simply decided to remove it. It sounded quite convincing. However, things didn't end there. Not long after, the mysterious metal pillar reappeared in California, and even in countries around the world, like the UK, Canada, Romania, and so on. These metal pillars mysteriously appeared without anyone knowing. Once they attracted attention, they mysteriously disappeared. As for the appearance of these metal pillars, a relatively credible explanation is that they were inspired by Stanley Kubrick's 1968 film 2001, A Space Odyssey. In the film, these columns are depicted as mysterious objects created by an invisible alien civilization. The metal columns that appeared in his state may have originally intended to mimic space travel. Until later, they became wildly popular, and were imitated all over the world. Second place. The ancient Egyptian civilization in the canyon. On April 5, 1909, the Arizona Republic reported an explosive new discovery. It pointed out that the narrative was dismissed by some as an April Fool's joke. However, theories abound, with some claiming that the story might have merit. James Kincaid, a member of the Smithsonian Institution, discovered a mysterious cave in the Grand Canyon. The location of the cave was particularly difficult to find. Kincaid entered the cave using a rope and other equipment. Inside the cave, he found numerous statues, coins, weapons, tools, 10 mummies, and some mysterious metal plates, engraved with hieroglyphs he cannot understand. Kincaid believes this cave may be a site of ancient Egyptians. The report also pointed out that the cave seems to have been established by ancient people for some kind of religious ritual. But why did the ancient Egyptians want to travel to the Americas? How did they cross the Atlantic Ocean to get here thousands of years ago? Kincaid himself couldn't explain it, but he knew that this was explosive news. So, a captivating exploration into the past reveals a century-old tale. Soon, this story became the headline news in the local area. Many people began competing to report it. However, the story quickly took a turn. The Smithsonian firmly denied it. They informed the public that there was no one named Kincaid associated with their institution. Moreover, our files did not open for this expedition. His discoveries are purely fictional. Please do not believe the rumors. But soon, someone came forward to point out that Kincaid indeed exists. He and Kincaid have worked together before. His discovery is confirmed to be real. And it has attracted the attention of the Smithsonian Institution. As time went on, the public lost interest in the matter. And whether Kincaid's discovery was true or not, seems to have become irrelevant to anyone. The event is mainly defined as a hoax, its identity remains unconfirmed, captivating exploration into the past. It slowly faded from public view. But what exactly is the truth? Was ancient Egyptian civilization really discovered in the Grand Canyon, or is it just a rumor? Perhaps only the Smithsonian Institution knows the answer. Number 1. The Monolith Quarry. In the southeastern part of Utah, USA, there is a place called Muley Point. The most remarkable feature of this place is rows of massive stones neatly arranged along the cliff edge, with at least hundreds, if not thousands, visible, and every single one is in a perfect cubic shape. These massive stones are primarily made of sandstone. Some of them are lying flat on the ground, while others are neatly arranged. There are distinct lines between each of the stones, as if they were cut by someone, and stacked right here. The largest of these stones exceed 10 meters in length, width, and height, and weigh approximately between 2,200 and 2,800 tons. Some of these are about 6 meters in length, width, and height. They weigh approximately 518 tons. When a person stands on them, they look incredibly small in comparison. And there's an interesting phenomenon. In some places where stones should have been placed, a stone is clearly missing. It's as if it was taken away. Additionally, these massive stones have another feature. Each stone fits perfectly with the others. It's as if they were cut with meticulous calculation. What kind of technology could cut such heavy stones with this level of precision? And why were they placed in this desolate area? Perhaps this stone could reveal some useful information. There are numerous spiral symbols carved on it, and even some human-like figures, and this information was likely left by the Native American Navajo people. To the Navajo, the spiral symbol represents time. They believe that time is not linear, but rather cycles repeatedly. And these megaliths, it is the legacy left by the previous civilization. However, this vanished civilization became increasingly cruel and tyrannical over time. Ultimately, it brought about the merciless wrath of the gods, according to an unprecedented great flood that completely submerged this civilization. The most direct evidence appeared nearby, where a series of strange stones emerged not far from the giant rocks. This type of stone is also known as coral stone. It only exists in the sea, but it inexplicably appears on land. Of course, the above are just some presumptuous guesses. There is no solid evidence. However, scientifically, these megaliths can also be explained. This occurred several million years ago. The current Matazhu area is covered by shallow seas. During this period, sand in the ocean, along with mud and other materials, settled on the seabed. Over time, these sediments gradually accumulated under pressure. After long periods of compaction, these sediment layers cemented into solid rock. Subsequently, due to tectonic movement and crustal structural activity, these rock layers are subjected to stresses from different directions. This structural stress causes the rock to fracture. Under the influence of structural stress, the rock tends to break at relatively weak points. This results in a phenomenon known as jointing. Ultimately, over time, these stones have been weathered and eroded, causing the interconnected stones to gradually reveal themselves on the surface. They look as if they have been cut out. However, in reality, all of this is the work of nature's craftsmanship. Well, that's the content I wanted to share with you this time. What do you think about these 10 canyon discoveries? Feel free to share your thoughts. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, please subscribe to my channel. Turn on the notifications. That way, you won't miss any more interesting content. See you in the next episode.